Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, we did end up going to Aldi to do our grocery shopping. We just ran in there. I think we honestly spent like 50 something dollars. We ended up pretty much just picking up like the essentials sort of and things like that. I'm super bummed too because Jewel actually looked like they had a pretty good sales going on this week. Like a couple of their like sizzling hot offers, and like a lot of the like produce they had some good deals on, and then just like a handful of other like look like good things. Like I saw, again, I sort of went over it and made my list earlier last week, but again, like almost every single day it was like we couldn't really go. The only day we might have been able to go was like maybe on Wednesday of last week, but I didn't even have my list ready at that point, and that's like the first day of the sales really. So and then like I was telling you guys too, like because we were going to split it up and do 2 stores today and 2 stores yesterday, but we couldn't do it yesterday because Matthew ended up taking the car to work because his car is currently not drivable really. So we have to take it to which I think my dad said someday this week or the weekend or by next week or something like that, we're taking it in to get his car like taken care of. I don't know. My dad literally took it in to get the oil changed, and then the mechanic was like, oh, like there's a problem like with this thing, but Matthew had been driving it and there was no problem. And it was like as soon as he ended up, we got it back after the oil change, then Matthew all of a sudden like drove it like twice and then started having this problem. The mechanic was like, you know, like it might not be like an immediate thing like that you're gonna need to get it fixed right away. He's like, but this is probably gonna be a problem, you're gonna need to get whatever part replaced or something like that. Like I said, shortly after that I think he drove it like 2 times and then ended up started having this problem. So yeah. Anyways, and then we had taken our like the main car, our main family's vehicle in on like Thursday or something like that, right before we ended up leaving for vacation, so that, you know, they could just go over it. I think maybe got the oil changed or something like that, but just sort of like to go over, make sure there was nothing wrong with it or anything, before we ended up taking it on the 5-hour trip to St. Louis. So yeah, also guys, I am hot, and it is actually not that bad out. It's only like 80s, but it's like, and then I think it's supposed to dip and be like 70s or something like that, and then get back up to the 80s again. But yeah guys, all of my plants sort of ended up getting fried over this weekend, and like almost all of my hanging baskets look like they're in such sad shape, and I'm like, I could try and revive them, like, you know, water them and stuff like that, but they just look like almost to the point of like they're past, they're not gonna make it anymore. And like there's a couple of them though that look really bad, but I'm thinking that within a couple weeks probably we're gonna start seeing mums go on sale, and I was like, once we see that, then I can probably just hang like new mums outside in the baskets. But it's mainly like the basket plants because they need to be watered like very, very frequently, and yeah, sort of a little bit slacked on that last week, but also too over this weekend I was not, you know, here, so there's a couple days where they didn't get watered either. But it is August, like where we actually get warmer weather a lot of times, honestly. Normally it's like the end of July and August is sometimes the hottest weather, but it's sort of weird. Like I said, it's only like 80s or so, and then it's supposed to dip into the 70s and then be like 80s again. So, and like today it really was not that hot, but I feel hot in this house. So I really, honestly, yesterday, surprisingly, the day after vacation and everything like that, I was actually very productive yesterday. I felt like I ended up getting 2 dishes. I edited, uploaded. I didn't do laundry because all the stuff that was in the car that was like just sort of like random things, like we had bags from Aldi, we had our bleacher chairs in there, like for the football games, which we left in there since spring because that was when football season was this year. And so my dad took all that stuff out and decided it was a smart idea to, instead of put it in the garage where like most of the stuff belongs, except for like maybe the Aldi bags, but like there was a whole bunch of other like random like tool sort of things and stuff like that that like wouldn't belong in the laundry room. Should have been out in the garage. My dad put in all the laundry baskets, so it's mixed in with all the clothes right now. And so I'm like, I can't even do laundry until this stuff gets moved out of here. And like, I don't know, because again, Matthew was taking the car and my mom was gone actually today. He didn't have work today though, but like yesterday he was gone with the car, so I couldn't like put any of this stuff back out in the car. And I was like, and now if I move it out into the garage, nobody's ever gonna find it again, because I moved it out there and it wasn't like my dad that put it there and just knew like, oh, this was the stuff that has to go back in the car or whatever. But like those bleacher seats should just be put with our like lawn chairs. That's where we put them. No, like I said, they made their way into the laundry room and are in the laundry baskets. So like I said, mixed in with all of the dirty clothes and like our Aldi bags too. So like we ended up forgetting them. We went to the bank, forgot the Aldi bags, and then had to come back home, which was actually, we drove the opposite way to the bank, and then, well, no, not the opposite way. The bank is the opposite direction of Aldi, so we went to the bank first and then drove past their house anyway. So my dad was like, oh yeah, did we need bags for Aldi? And I was like, yeah, and so he ended up forgetting them. And that's because they were sitting in the laundry baskets in the laundry room where they shouldn't be. So anyways, tomorrow I'm probably going to have to do laundry, but take all the stuff that's in there. Like I said, there's like a heap of stuff that is all in, like, I don't know why he didn't just move it out into the garage, or even let's like put it in the living room, because like at least you know, like, okay, this is just gonna stay in here. Like if it's in the laundry room, it's gonna get forgotten about. It's, like I said, mixed in with the clothes. Like I'll wind up putting it somewhere else where it doesn't belong, and it'll never get back to the place where it's actually supposed to be. Whereas like if we left it in the living room, like we wouldn't leave it there. Like it would go back to wherever it's supposed to be because we clean up in there. The laundry room is such a place where like if you put something in there, you'll probably lose it forever, because nobody goes in there to like clean anything in the laundry room. Like to put things away. Like there is a gallon of paint that I think has been sitting in there since we painted the living room the kitchen last year. Like our primer or something like that. And my dad went out and bought a brand new can of primer because he thought we didn't have any. Our primer almost always, well, our paints almost always go out in the garage, which we want to put in the crawl space because, long story short, it's not temperature controlled out in the garage, so our paint normally winds up going bad anyway. So we want to put it in the crawl space for storage, long-term storage. Anyways, but right now they're all in the garage. So like I said, my dad went out, bought a brand new can of primer for when Matthew was fixing underneath the cabinets, which he never finished. He only did one cabinet and only put one coat of primer on it. So anyways, my dad goes out, buys a brand new thing of primer, only to find out a couple days later, he was like, we had a whole thing of it in the laundry room. Like, stuff just goes in there and it never comes back out, and it doesn't go to the place where it actually belongs. It just gets put in there because it's like, oh, it's in the laundry room, it's out of the way. And then, like I said, nothing ever winds up like happening with it. And it's really bad too, because like if it's something that does belong in the garage, like my dad will leave it in there because he was like, oh, I'll take care of this the next time I go out to the garage. And it just stays in there and stays in there. And so that's what I'm thinking. He ended up putting, you know, the, like I said, the stuff from the trunk in there, thinking like, oh, I'll just put it back out in the car once we come back. Nope, it's still sitting out there when we came back on Sunday. So yeah. But I've told him now, like twice. I was like, that stuff needs to be moved because I can't do laundry. And I don't know if Matthew has work tomorrow, but I think maybe he has enough of his work shirts washed. Or he has a work shirt washed, hopefully. Because like I said, I haven't been able to do laundry for the last 2 days. And there's not a huge pileup of laundry from like, you know, like being gone or anything like that. But there's, again, I need to do it. And there's, you know, it's been a couple days. So, also too, the dog is currently snoring on my bed right now. He stopped. Okay, never mind. So yeah, like I was saying, anyways. Yeah, there's that, and that's why I didn't get to any laundry. But I was, like I said, really productive yesterday. Today, like, no. I did a little bit of dishes. I ended up just uploading today, but I didn't edit. Like, I was surprised actually as much as I got done yesterday. But like I said, today, I sort of though knew, I was like, well, if we're gonna go to Aldi today, I was like, But I sort of knew in the back of my mind too, like we were gonna have to go to Aldi today, and like I didn't want to also start something because I didn't know when my dad was gonna be home, because like I told you guys, he's been working overtime, but sometimes he randomly will get home early, other days he'll wind up getting home like later. So I also didn't know entirely when he was gonna be home today, so I was like, I don't want to start doing something and then him come home and then we have to leave. And my mom had to go out to the place where my cousin's bridal shower is being held this weekend, because she didn't see it originally when they ended up like renting it, and so she wanted to see, like, I guess, and go over some of the details or something, but she also wanted to be able to see like what the venue looked like, so that she knew like sort of layout and stuff like that for like the decorations, because she's really in charge of most of the decorations. And so she wanted, like I said, to have an idea of that, so she ended up going there today. And so she was gone with the car up until my dad got home, and then when he actually got home, he's like, well, I'm gonna work out first, since she was like literally texted and was like, I'm on my way. And then my dad got home and he's like, well, since she's not home yet, I'm gonna go work out. So then he did, and then was like a half hour later, my mom had already come home. And again, my mom came home like probably 5-10 minutes after my dad did, but then he was like, no, I'm gonna work out first. So he goes and works out, and it's like an hour later, and then we finally left for Aldi. And I was like, I probably could have done something productive in this time, like gotten to laundry or started editing or something like that, but yeah, didn't really get to that. So anyways, yeah, today, like I said, I wasn't quite as good with like getting stuff done as I needed to, and I didn't clean either, like but the house is honestly too, like, people come home for vacation and it's just like the same thing happened with my parents when they went away for their anniversary back in May. They come home and it's like they're like tornadoes. They just like leave stuff everywhere. There's things all over the house. And again too, my mom's been doing all the decorations for my cousin's bridal shower, so she's been in the living room like with like all kinds of stuff, all these decorations and stuff like that set up on a card table. She's been making stuff like since Sunday night, I think, since we got back, or maybe on Monday or something like that. And so she's been like in there with all kinds of stuff. Everything's all over the place. The living room's been a mess, but then like the kitchen has been too, just because everything's like all over the place from when we got home, and the like whole house is a mess right now too. So like nothing's put away either. So, and I'll be honest, I was a little bad. I still haven't unpacked yet. I half unpacked too. Actually, on Sunday night, I was like, wow, I'm surprised I got so much unpacked. And then I did nothing yesterday, nothing again today. So anyways, yeah. I will see you guys though all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe. And I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.